So what's conducting now the weapons inspection to ensure each and everyone's safety, because unlike the actual battle, we look forward to all of our reenactors going home when this is over. So I guess from memory, the order of battle, I'll start with the Americans. The Kentucky militia, who actually were here. Just about every county in this area was named for a member who, the colonels or officers who had served with the Kentucky militia at that time. Give you an idea of how they state their commands. 19th century military drill.
That's fine.
Okay, for the Crown Forces, the order of battle at that time were the 41st Regiment of Foot, Royal Newfoundland Regiment, the Provincial Marines, Royal Artillery, and the 1st Essex Militia Regiment. As well as 200 Potawatomi of the First Nations. Since the First Nations usually remove their casualties from the field, we don't really have an accurate account of their of the killed in action, wounded in action, missing, and so forth. But their participation was very much appreciated in the name of the King and Empire. As you look at the Crown Forces, not all redcoats wore red coats. We have the militia somewhat in the center there. They were born and raised in Canada. Many of them were veterans of the American Revolution. And now in your 10th grade history classes, you called them Loyalists and Tories. So these would be the grandsons of those who fought in the American Revolution between 1775 and 1781. But there is a different code and creed, because the British regulars, their operation order was to defend the empire at all costs. Canadian militia, their code and creed, yes, defend, but protect Canada. Canada first. And I don't think they teach that here. But once again, this was a cold winter day. Too bad the snow didn't stay long enough to make it as accurate as possible. Now we know God loves the infantry. How you feeling? Good. Good. So you can tell by the officers in front of the rank and file, they earn a little bit more money, most definitely. And Everett headwear, the epaulets. Okay, so you can listen to the 19th century drill, how weapons were inspected back then. The three parts of that weapon, I'm sure you all heard of it. The term we use today called lock, stock, and barrel. Those three things make up that weapon. That's where we get the term today. If the weapon, because you're talking about a smooth bore weapon in the hands of a skilled marksman, 3 rounds per minute. No army in the world was as fat or faster in that time. This was considered that the Brown Bess musket here, that was the widowmaker of its time. Now, some of you probably have wondered throughout films and also reenactments why the soldiers had to stand in a line side by side and so forth, and oh, that was a silly idea. No, ladies and gentlemen, that was not a silly idea. You got to talk about the technology at the time. You're talking about an entire wall of lead that is coming at you repeatedly. So you needed the extended ranks to put as much lead down the field as possible. Rifles back then were very difficult to come by. And then even if someone did have a rifle, it would take them a minute to load it. So if this guy can run in that minute to that guy with the rifle, guess who's going to die? The one with the rifle. What they're doing is called springing the rammers. That means that if you hear that little ping, 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 that means that the barrel is clear. There's no ammunition. For those veterans, when you hear the term no brass, no ammo, that's what that meant. That's what 19th century at that time. The Widowmaker was the Brown Bess musket because the caliber of that musket was 75. That was a 75 caliber weapon that would have, in which the ball would have hit you. And if you did catch that round, it was basically an immediate amputation. From the medical books in that time, it would have been in your best interest for your doctor or surgeon to have been from Scotland. Why? Because Scotland at that time had the best medical school in the world for amputations. The average surgeon could amputate a limb in 15 seconds. Fife and drums were very important in that time. Anything from troop motivation to actually communication on the field. Now, some of you may see out here what's called a misfire. When the troops are engaged, there's a term for that called the flash in the pan. So if it were a misfire, meaning that the spark did not go into the powder to discharge the ball, that's what that would have been, and you would have to hurry up and clean it.